Hello, everyone. I am Caroline Wolf, and welcome to the February 2023 episode of our monthly webinars. It's a holiday week, and it's Mardi Gras, so it looks like we don't have a whole lot of people here today, but we're going to get started, and we're going to have our recording on YouTube for anybody who missed it to watch it. So if you know anyone who maybe missed it, you can let them know that we're going to record this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about LCT funding, and then Jennifer's going to talk about the 471 filing window, and Kyle is going to talk about next steps and deadlines. The E-rate process, it has multiple applications. We have the procurement form, which is the Form 470, and the Form 471 form is the application for the discount. So that's right now can only be filed within a certain window of time, and the window is open. It closes on February 27th. So if you haven't filed your Form 471 yet, it's really important for you to get that process started. If you're in the middle of your procurement, of course, wait till your allowable contract date or the deadline for your responses to move forward. Right now in Texas, 76 applications have been filed. A lot of them are LCT libraries. Some of the LCT libraries actually have their application status ready to be funded. So we expect most of the LCT applications to go in the first wave of funding. That's been typically what it has been. Maybe that's what maybe I'll report on that in March, is how many of the LCT libraries have been funded in the first wave in the past. So just make sure that you get your application filed. I mean, the deadline to file your Form 471 is March 28th, and you need to also remember that there is an invoice deadline for 2021 if you haven't filed for your recurring services, but I think Kyle's going to remind you about that later on in the webinar. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton to the Form 471 filing window. Jennifer?
Thanks, Caroline. So like Caroline said, now is the time to file your 471. This is the most important, one of the most important applications, because this is the one that asks for the funding on your internet. You apply for the discounts. You may have a PIA review, which is an outreach if they have questions on the contract, the billing, anything like that. USAC will reach out. If you have questions that you can't answer from that, feel free to reach out to us and we will help you through that process. And so if you do have a 470 pending right now, remember that, you either have a bid closing date or your contract end date. And then you do need to evaluate those bids, send out an award letter, and then you can file your 471. If you are under contract, you can then just move forward and file the 471. Also, if you do have to go out to bid and you do need to get board approval, you'll need to do that as soon as possible. Again, the deadline is March 28th. And for us Texas folks, the March 28th deadline is 10:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. It must be certified in E-Rate's Productivity Center, USAC's website before that deadline. If you do miss that deadline, you will have to file a waiver to the FCC because it's then considered an out-of-window application. If you did have to go out to bid and you needed to file a new contract, you must include that on the EPC portal. And under that, you'll sign a new contract and then you will upload that. We have a good tutorial on our YouTube channel on how to upload a new contract and certify the Form 471. Those who have a multi-year contract, that contract should already be in place in the portal. And again, you can go to our YouTube channel. And now I will hand it off to Kyle.
Thank you, Jennifer. My apologies, I'm getting a bit of a delay. But yes, we'll just discuss some of the next steps that you need to consider. So after the Form 471 is completed, your draft is completed, if you can, please save and share the draft in EPC. There should be two options to either save and continue or save and share, or instead of certify, save and share. Our internal QA team will review the application, and then we can send it back to you for you to certify. We'll try to review and return within a 48-hour time frame, and this will allow us to help minimize mistakes on the Form 471 that may require correction or present funding issues in the future. We just want to help double check, make sure everything looks good. So after you actually certify the Form 471, as Jennifer mentioned earlier, you will potentially receive Program Integrity Assurance questions. That's PIA. That is a team at USAC that reviews the Form 471s for completion and accuracy. If they have questions on the funding request, they will send an inquiry through EPC, and you should receive an email alert. Be aware of your spam and junk folder in case it heads there instead. And you will have a 15-day period, a 15 calendar day period to respond to that inquiry. But if you receive an inquiry, please let us know, and we can help you draft an appropriate response. Typically, they're looking for information that is going to validate the information included on the Form 471. If you do not receive an inquiry, there's no action to take. It's normal to receive an inquiry, but it's also normal not to receive an inquiry. I think that brings us to the bearer deadline that Caroline mentioned earlier. There is one library who we have reached out to already about that still needs to set an invoice mode for the funding year 2021 recurring service that they still need to invoice. If you are uncertain if you have fully invoiced, please let us know, and we can help you try to invoice prior to that February 27th, 2023 date. Sorry, that's a typo there. That should be 2023. And then lastly, as Caroline and Jennifer touched on, the Form 471 deadline to file that is March 28th, 2023. Again, it should be 2023. And that must be certified by 10:59 Central Time. So you have a little bit more than 4 weeks to still certify. Still best to certify early. So if you have not done that yet, please reach out to us and see what next steps you'll need to take to complete that. We'll be reaching out to targeted individuals as well.
Thank you, Kyle. So just to recap what everyone said, of course, we have those deadlines. If you are curious about where you stand in the process, please do reach out to us. We have an email address that goes out to all of us, lct@erateCentral.com. And our phone number, we call it the LCT hotline, is 516-801-7820. It goes to all of us, so one of us can pick up the phone and answer your question. We do recommend very strongly that you if you create a draft Form 471, that you save and share it, but then also either send us an email or give us a call and let us know that you've done that, and then that way we know to fast track your application through the quality assurance program. We're here to watch out for you to make sure that you're successful, and so that's why we want to make sure that all of the information in there and all of the documentation that you have retained is ready to go. Remember that the E-Rate program has a 10-year documentation retention policy. So you need to make sure that you're retaining the documents that you are creating during this process. And if you do have any questions, please let us know. And our LCT YouTube channel has lots of videos that you can use to help you with this process. Before we go, do any of you have any questions that you want to ask? We've got the chat. We also have, you can also speak up and ask questions if you'd like. I think right now doesn't look like y'all have any ability to. I can let you talk if you need to. So if you raise your hand, or if you want to just put a question in the questions, just doing a last call for questions. It doesn't look like anybody has any questions. So I guess we're about done. Thank you all for attending, and we wish you luck in the window.